Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka Billy Indiana. Today is my 3rd year anniversary for having the Billy Indiana channel on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And so I'm going to do a little bit of a reflection on the first 3 years, primarily this last year, talk a little bit about what happened for the channel in 2022, and share some goals for the future. So if you're curious, stay tuned. Well, 2022 was primarily my 3rd year. I technically started on January 14th with my very first video back in 2020. But now I think kind of just, and it's so close to the beginning of the year, I kind of just think about it as annual goals and sort of close enough to my actual anniversary date for the channel. And I want to share some stats first. So this last year in 2022, I posted 232 times on Instagram, most of those as just posts. Those are actually just the posts. So I also did some stories and some reels, not very many, but a few, and have around 2,670 followers. I haven't checked it recently, but it's right around that number. The number of followers hasn't ever been real important to me, but just so you're aware of kind of where I stand at this point. In terms of YouTube videos, I put out 86 new videos. I had a goal of putting out 100, but a few things came up in 2022. One, my wife and I got to take kind of the vacation dream that we've wanted to for a number of years, and that was to take a huge road trip. It was over 8,000 miles spanning 7 weeks over the summer, and so that limited how many videos I could make during those summer months. And then in August, I had a heart attack. In September, I had COVID, and so it just kind of a sequence of things from June through September and really into October that limited my ability to put out as many videos as I hoped. So I fell short of that 100 goal, but still 86 videos in the last year. Pretty pleased with that. Closing in on 300 videos now, total 262. And so hoping to put out 100 videos in 2023, although I'm getting a late start because I've had this sinus flu for the last few weeks. So my voice still doesn't sound quite normal, but at least I have a voice now. So all right, and then YouTube subscribers are right at 589 last time I checked out, and that was a couple weeks ago, so I'm not sure. It probably hasn't changed much from that. Now, more important to me than those statistics are my experience playing games. And so as I tracked my games this last year, I had 537 gameplays in 2023, which is the most gameplays I've had since I started tracking them in 2020. And I played 154 different games to get to that 537 plays mark. And what was really surprising to me is of those 154 games that I played, 130 of them were new to me. So they weren't necessarily new, obviously, in 2022, but they were new to me. And that kind of has maybe formed a little bit about the goals that I have going forward for this next year in terms of gameplays. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about those goals that I have for 2023. In terms of posts, I do hope to put at least 250 posts up on Instagram. I used to think I was going to try to do a post a day. And for me, it's a hobby, and I just started feeling like that pressure made it less enjoyable. So I've been right under 250 every year. So I'm going to try to get to 250 this year, maybe do just slightly more than I had the last few years. But I'm not going to try to make that a key focus. Again, it's not really about the followers for me. This isn't a moneymaker. This is just a way for me to share my love for the hobby. Same for the YouTube videos. My goal is to put out 100. I did that my second year. I think I put out 112 my second year. So I'd like to get to that 100 mark again in 2023 if I'm able. And then for the gameplays, this is where I really want to focus my attention on the hobby and what I share through the channel. I'd like to, again, get over 500 plays, and I've been able to do that every year. I think it was 512, then 524, and then 537. So, I'm right there, just over 500 every year, and I'd like to continue that. So my goal is 500 gameplays again for 2023. But this last year, having played 154 games and 130 of them being new to me, what really struck me is that I'm not playing the games that I really love more times. I play them and then I move on to the new thing. So I've rearranged my goals for this year. My big game playing goal, I tried to make a 10 by 10 challenge last year, and we were going to try, my wife and I, to play 10 campaign/legacy games 10 times each in 2022. And with the summer travel, that made that tough. And then with the health issues, that made it tough. We were able to get 5 done. So we did Pandemic Legacy Season 0. We finished that up. We did Adventures of Robin Hood. We did Role Player Adventures. We did My City. Well, I guess we're on our 5th one. We're on Aeon's End Legacy right now. So we didn't quite get halfway to that goal. But that also reshaped some of our goals for this, or some of my goals for us and for myself this coming year. So of the 500 games that I want to play in 2023, I've put together 4 sort of sub goals. One is I want to play my top 12 games at least 5 times each. And so I'll be giving a video here sometime in the first half of this year, 2023, of my top 50 games. I'm planning to do that and starting to work on the details for that. But I want to play my top 12 games at least 5 times each. So that's 60 of my 500. And then I want to go to the next 30 games that I love the most and play those at least twice a piece this year. So that gets me up to 120 plays of my top 42 games. And so that's kind of, I want to get back to those games that I know I love, and I want to play them more. Because I was looking back over my top 50, and there were so many that I didn't even play one time this last year because I was always playing the new stuff. So that's 2 of my goals. Top 12, 5 times each. Next 30, at least 2 times each. And then I want to stick with this campaign legacy, but not quite go for a 10 by 10. I think that was overzealous. So we're going to do 5 by 5. We're going to try to play 5 legacy games or campaign style games at least 5 times each. And I'm hoping to play Journeys through Journeys in Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle Earth, get back to Sleeping Gods again, get back to Destinies again. So some of the ones, again, not necessarily just always new, but some of the ones that we've loved and enjoyed, I want to try to get back to some of those again. And so that's another 25 of the 500. And then the other ones, I do want to continue to play games that I've had either on my shelf of shame, or I know that are coming with Kickstarters and pre-orders, or that I know some of my friends in my gaming group have that I've really wanted to play. I've seen them on their shelves. We've talked about playing. We just haven't gotten to them yet. So I went through that list of all these games I really want to play and picked 105 of them that I hope to play at least once. These would all be new to me games. And I know that's still a lot of new to me games, but it's less than what I had last year. And I'll probably play some other new to me games as well, but these are the 105. And so that gets me to 250 out of my 500, which leaves me half of my 500 to be flexible with. It could be going back to those top 12 games and playing them more than 5 times a piece, or playing more of those campaign games instead of just 5 times, playing more than 5 times each. So that's kind of how I'm organizing my goals for this year, is trying to guide myself back to those games that have been on my shelf that I haven't played as much as I want to, even though I know that I love them. All right. And then last but not least, a few awards that I want to talk about this year. And every year, these last couple of years, at the end of the year, I reflect back, what was my favorite game of the year? What were my most played games of the year? What was my biggest surprise of the year? And then my best experience. So we'll kind of do those in reverse order. Best experience. My best experience this last year gaming, after forming a couple gaming groups the year before, which was my highlight in 2021, getting to go to an actual board game event, which for me was the World Series of Board Gaming last September. It was the first time I'd ever been to any sort of convention or board gaming event at all, and I absolutely loved it. I do have a video. I'll try to remember to link it up here above so you can watch that if you're curious to see my experiences there. It was terrific. This year, a goal that I have is to get to more of those types of events. So I'm going to prioritize a few. I really want to get to Strategicon because it's right here in LA. And I have one coming up, I think, in February. So I'm hoping to get to that for at least one of the days over that weekend. I think it's the President's Day weekend. I think it might fall during our one of our breaks from school. So I'm going to try to get to Strategicon. If not, then I think they have another one around Memorial Day. So try to get to that one. Then the second one I want to get to is Dice Tower West. I had so much fun in Vegas at the World Series of Board Gaming. Dice Tower West is in that same setting. It's really a pretty short drive for me. And so I want to go up at least for part of the weekend and be there for part of Dice Tower West. And so that's my second one. The third one, I know the Brothers Murph are hoping to bring together their Bing Bong Con, and it's going to be somewhere here in the LA area. And I'm hoping that I could find a way to attend that event as well. I met them at the World Series of Board Gaming, and I've been following their channel for years. So it was really exciting to meet them in person, and I would love to attend their convention if they are able to bring it together, and then if it works out for me to be able to attend. And then I'd really like to get to Gen Con. We're actually working out kind of our family vacation towards the end of summer to get back to the Midwest in Indiana and visit our family there. And my sister-in-law and her son really love board games as well, and they went to Gen Con last year, and they would love to return. And my wife and I would love to go. I'll probably go more than she will. She might go for a day. I want to go as much as I can. But my son lives in Indiana, in Indianapolis. My parents and my mother-in-law and several of my siblings live in northern Indiana. So I do want to get back to see them towards the end of July, beginning of August, and combine some participation in Gen Con with that family vacation. So those are some of the goals that I have. And that relates to the best experience I had this last year with attending the World Series of Board Gaming. My biggest surprise of the year is right here behind me, Foundations of Rome. I expected to enjoy this game, but I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I do. It's really climbing rapidly into my top games. It's so simple, but it's so beautiful. It draws in people because of its overproduction, and some people argue against that overproduction, but everyone that I've shown it to has just been in awe by the production, and yet the gameplay is so simple, and yet it's also so layered because you can play with all the different modules, the trading and stealing and the monuments and all these different modules with goals. It's really just become one of my favorite games, and so that was the biggest surprise. I thought I would like it. I didn't realize how much I would really love it. My most played games of the year, both of them are two that tied at 24 games apiece. One is Cartographers, and I played that actually mostly on Happy Meeple, which is a website where I found you can play it against a bot as an AI, and I played that quite a bit online and a few times with my actual copy of Cartographers Heroes and some of the new map packs. So 24 times of Cartographers, and then also 24 gameplays of My City, one of those legacy games that my wife and I did play. That was the nice one that we were able to take with us on our summer trip. Played it a lot while we were on the road since it's a pretty small box and easy to get to. The gameplays are short. I don't actually have it with me anymore. I've passed it on to some friends. You can play it up to 4 players. So my wife and I played it all the way through and then passed it on to another couple, and they're going to hopefully have a chance to play it all the way through as well. So that was the most played games, Cartographers in My City. And now for the best game I played. Now, this isn't necessarily new to me because it wasn't new to me in 2022. I actually played it for the first time in 2021 and really enjoyed it. But as I played it more in 2022 and then added on the Rise of Ix expansion, so that gives it away, Dune Imperium, and that's also right here. And I just recently received the Immortality expansion. Haven't had a chance to try it yet, but that is my favorite game that I played in 2022. So that's a quick reflection on kind of year 3 of the Billy Indiana channel, and even more focused on the gameplays that I have with some of the goals that I have looking forward into 2023. And that I'm finally getting past this sinus flu. I have a lot of videos on tap that I'm looking forward to, so keep an eye out if you want to put that or click that bell notification. You'll see when some of these come out. I have several top 10 lists that I'm wanting to put together. Also, having had a chance to attend the World Series of Board Gaming, I've been going through and making sure I've played every game that's sponsored or a part of the World Series of Board Gaming multiple times. And I'm going to be doing mini reviews for each of those 16 games throughout the spring and the summer. So you can keep your eye out for that. So lots of things that I have planned. And hopefully now that, again, I have a voice back, I can start putting some of those videos together. I'm a little behind the schedule that I hope to be on at this point in January, but stick with me and hopefully you'll enjoy some of the things that I'm able to share with you. So as always, thanks for watching, and this is Billy Indiana signing off.